A tough year for video game companies. 2024 was one for the books. We saw some crazy stuff go down. A lot of big games pretty much just fold and crumble. From Concord to Star Wars Outlaws. I've done plenty of coverage on this stuff, as have other people. Ubisoft, though, seems to be in the worst position. Multiple failures. A big concern for them is Assassin's Creed Shadows, which comes out next month, by the way. I'm very excited for that one. But they delayed it. It was supposed to come out, I think, in like October, early November. Well, that obviously didn't happen. They delayed it because of the backlash surrounding the game. It was bad. And now, we'll see what happens with it. There's not really a lot of competition for it, but it'll be interesting. Star Wars Outlaws, nobody wanted this game. Barely anybody playing it. Reports are saying about 1 million units sold across physical and digital. Crazy shit. But this kind of lines up with another story that is interesting because we have some numbers thanks to Steam Replay, something that you get at the end of the year to see how you compare to other people on the platform, which, by the way, is probably the biggest store for PC gamers. I mean, what else is there? There's a lot of little ones out there, but Steam is probably the biggest for PC gaming. And, I mean, look at the headline here. It's from Fandom Pulse. Steam Replay 2024 reveals only 15% of total playtime spent on new releases. That's bad. That's really bad. And it kind of shows you just how bad things are for video game developers right now. I mean, I don't even need to get into a lot of the stuff that we've gone over. I mean, you know how DEI has affected games. And I think that that's a big part of it, but I think that also expectations, just no one's really that excited for a lot of these new games anymore. They're all kind of playing it safe, even outside of the DEI stuff. I mean, was there anything really new that brought the market out last year? I'm trying to think. Maybe Metaphor. I haven't played Metaphor yet. I do want to. I got it for Christmas. It is up there. I just finished up Dragon Quest. I played a couple new games that came out this year, but for the most part, if I did play a lot of stuff, I was going through my backlog. I'm trying to think of all the new games I played this year. Astrobot. I played, I guess, I can't remember what I played towards the beginning of 2025. I played a few 2024 releases. Astrobot being the biggest. I actually platinumed that one. I liked it. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I'd have to sit down and look. But some people played even less than me this year. So here are the numbers he broke down. So I'm guessing this is from John. John Trent wrote this article. This is probably his numbers on the left. And to the right here are everybody else's. And it's this number down here that's really telling. So obviously he didn't play any new releases, games released in 2024. The percentage of playtime you had in new releases, games released in 2024, 0%. And now you compare that to everybody else on Steam, and this is a crazy number. 15%, the percentage of playtime spent by all Steam users in new releases. That's wild. Wild. So, I mean, there are other things in here. You could say the economy, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. But this isn't just big AAA games. This includes cheap indie games. It's a pretty bad sign for the video game industry. Here's another one. Recent favorites, 76%. The percentage of playtime you had in releases from the last 1 through 7 years. So that includes, I'm guessing this year, And, obviously most of the past decade, 47%, the percentage of playtime spent by all Steam users in releases from the last 1 through 7 years. And then classic games. The percentage of playtime you had in releases from 8 or more years ago, 24% for him, 37% for all Steam users. The percentage of playtime spent by all Steam users in releases from 8 or more years ago. So people are playing games from 2023 and back. Not a lot of 2024 games. 15% of people on the Steam platform jumped on them. Pretty wild. And, I think that this reflects on a lot of the shit we've had this year. I mean, this was like the DEI year of video games. And a lot of them flopped. Concord, that closed the studio. Outlaws, Dragon Age, the Veilguard, very much had a strong outing, and then it fell off a cliff. So that game hasn't made its money back. And they've tried real hard to make that game successful. Time Magazine named it its Game of the Year. Dustborn, absolute failure. Taxpayer money to make that game, by the way. Unknown 9 Awakening, Forspoken. Don't forget about Suicide Squad. There's all kinds of big high-profile flops. Skull and Bones. That Skull and Bones game from Ubisoft. Like, they had a really bad year this year. But I do think it's pretty wild that only 15% of playtime by Steam users was games for 2024. The percentage of playtime spent by all Steam users in new releases. That's it. Pretty wild, man. I don't know what they're going to do to fix this. We still have another 2 years of DEI probably in video games before things clear up. Because you got to think, these things have been in production for a long time. I think this year is going to be pretty bad. Next year, I think things are going to be a little bit better, but still kind of bad. And then after that, I think you're going to see the shift because obviously I think people are making changes to the games they have in development. A lot of layoffs, so a lot of that rot that's been infecting a lot of these studios, I think, is going to be kicked out. And, in a few years, maybe we'll get back to normal. We'll see. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd like to hear from you also. If you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and we'll see ya on the next one. Peace.